In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 NBA games happening on March 9, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 NBA games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Cleveland Cavaliers versus Milwaukee Bucks. The Cleveland Cavaliers are heading to Milwaukee to face the Bucks on Sunday, March 9th. This matchup promises to be an exciting one, with both teams looking to make a statement as the season progresses. The Cavaliers are coming into this game with a fully healthy roster, which is a significant advantage. On the other hand, the Bucks will be without Gary Trent Jr. and Pat Connaughton, who are still sidelined. Despite the Cavs being favored to win, I believe the odds should lean even more in their favor. Cleveland has been nearly unstoppable when all their key players are available. Meanwhile, the Bucks are playing on 0 days rest, which could impact their performance. While I expect Milwaukee to put up a fight, their offense has been struggling lately, making their recent wins somewhat surprising. Cleveland boasts the best offense in the NBA, and that's going to be a major problem for the Bucks, whose defense has been just average this season. The Cavs are likely to hit plenty of shots and control the game from start to finish, leading to a comfortable win. Their 40-22-1 record against the spread is the best in the league, so it's safe to expect them to keep that momentum going in this matchup. The Bucks are finishing up a back-to-back, and the current line suggests that oddsmakers might be anticipating some players sitting out. If Milwaukee were at full strength, they wouldn't be double-digit underdogs. The Cavs, on the other hand, are well-rested and have been one of the most reliable teams to cover the spread this season, with a 64.5% cover rate. Only the Oklahoma City Thunder have been better at covering spreads. Before placing any bets, it's worth checking the injury report, as the line feels a bit off. As our first pick for this matchup, the Cleveland Cavaliers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams are capable of putting up big numbers on the scoreboard. Cleveland has the best over record in the NBA at 41-22, while the Bucks are sitting at 31-31. The Cavs play at the 5th fastest pace in the league, and the Bucks aren't far behind, ranking 10th with a pace of 102.1. This sets the stage for a high-scoring, fast-paced game. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. San Antonio Spurs versus Minnesota Timberwolves. San Antonio will head to Target Center on Sunday night to face Minnesota, aiming to secure a series split. The Spurs are looking to bounce back after a tough 127-109 loss to Sacramento, where they entered the game as 6.5-point underdogs. On the other hand, the Timberwolves are riding high after a narrow 106-104 victory over Miami, a game in which they were favored by 3.5 points. Historically, Minnesota has had the upper hand in this matchup, winning 7 of their last 10 games against San Antonio. This season, the Timberwolves currently lead the 4-game series 2-1. Injury concerns continue to plague both teams. The Spurs are still without Victor Wembanyama and Charles Bassey, 2 key players whose absence has been felt. Meanwhile, the Timberwolves are monitoring the status of Rudy Gobert and Luka Garza, both of whom are listed as questionable for Sunday's game. San Antonio has struggled to find consistency since losing their star big man to injury, and now they face a surging Timberwolves squad that could be at full strength for this matchup. Minnesota was always expected to be the heavy favorite in this game, and that sentiment is justified. They've been playing well as a cohesive unit, not just relying on Anthony Edwards to carry the offensive load. The Timberwolves are currently on a 4-game winning streak, while the Spurs have lost 4 of their last 6. Minnesota holds a clear advantage in several key areas. They've been shooting the ball efficiently, converting over 51% of their shots in their last 3 games, compared to San Antonio's 45% shooting on the road. The Timberwolves have also been more effective at the free throw line, hitting over 75% of their attempts during this stretch, while the Spurs have struggled, making less than 65%. Additionally, Minnesota has been strong on the boards, averaging 12 offensive rebounds per game at home, which creates more scoring opportunities. They've also reduced their turnovers in recent games, limiting the chances for opponents to score easy points. Defensively, the Spurs have been vulnerable, allowing more than 120 25 points per game in their last 3 outings, which suggests they'll have a tough time containing Minnesota's offense. Minnesota's recent dominance in this series, combined with their current win streak, has positioned them as a strong contender in the Western Conference. They rank in the top half of the league in effective field goal percentage and have climbed to 5th in three-point shooting. In contrast, San Antonio has struggled to prevent opponents from grabbing offensive rebounds and remains one of the weakest second-half teams in the league. As our first pick for this matchup, the Minnesota Timberwolves to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When it comes to scoring, both teams have been involved in high-scoring games recently. The Spurs have gone over the total in their last 4 games, while the Timberwolves have done so in 3 of their last 5. San Antonio averages 113 points per game and plays at the 19th fastest pace in the league, averaging 102.3 possessions per game. They'll face a Minnesota defense that allows 108.5 points per game at home. The Timberwolves, meanwhile, average 112 points per game and play at the 25th fastest pace, averaging 101.1 possessions per game. They'll go up against a Spurs defense that has given up 129 points per game in their last 3 outings. Notably, the over has hit in 2 of the last 3 meetings between these two teams. As our second pick for this matchup, over the projected total is our full game total pick. Detroit Pistons versus Portland Trail Blazers. The NBA betting action rolls on with an 8-game slate scheduled for Sunday, March 9, 2025. One of the standout matchups is a cross-conference showdown at the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon, where the Detroit Pistons will face off against the Portland Trail Blazers. This game marks the second and final meeting between these two teams during the regular season. Their first encounter back in January was a tightly contested battle, with the Pistons narrowly edging out the Trail Blazers 118-115 as 6.5-point home favorites. Both teams are dealing with some injury concerns heading into this game. The Pistons are still missing Jaden Ivey, while the Trail Blazers have ruled out Deander Ayton. Additionally, Denny Avdija is listed as questionable for Portland. Despite being slightly shorthanded, the Pistons have managed to hold their own, especially when playing on 0 days rest. They've posted a 5-7 straight-up record in such situations, but have been more impressive against the spread, going 7-3-2. This suggests they've been competitive even when fatigued. One of the underappreciated strengths of the Pistons this season has been their defense. They rank 10th in the league in defensive efficiency, allowing just 109.9 points per 100 possessions. This could prove crucial against a Trail Blazers squad that has struggled offensively, ranking 25th in the league with only 108 points per 100 possessions. While Detroit's offense has shown flashes of potential, their defensive consistency gives them an edge. I believe they have the tools to make key stops when it matters most, which could be the difference in this game. Portlanders have the advantage of rest, and they've been playing solid basketball over the past month. It's easy to see why some might lean toward taking the points with the Trail Blazers, especially considering the Pistons are coming off a grueling game against the Warriors. Tough losses can weigh on a team, but if Detroit is serious about making a playoff push, these are the kinds of games they need to win. Despite their recent improvements, the Trail Blazers are still 8 games below .500 and just returned home from a challenging 7-game road trip. Fatigue could be a factor for them as well. At the moment, it's tough to separate these two teams, as both have been quietly effective in recent weeks. However, the Pistons have shown slightly better form and appear to be in relatively good health. This makes them a decent value bet at the current line, even with the rest disadvantage. While Portland's rest advantage is worth noting, I believe Detroit has the higher upside in this matchup. As our first pick for this matchup, the Detroit Pistons to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When it comes to pace, the Pistons rank 9th in the NBA, averaging 99.8 possessions per 48 minutes. The Trail Blazers, on the other hand, sit at 18th with 98.8 possessions. Detroit might find it challenging to push the tempo in this game, especially after expending a lot of energy in their previous game against the Warriors in San Francisco. This could lead to a slower, more methodical style of play. Neither team relies heavily on three-point shooting, and both have their share of weaknesses. The Pistons have been prone to turnovers, while the Trail Blazers rank 27th in the league in turnover percentage at 13.9%. Portland will likely aim to slow the game down, and their recent home games have trended toward lower scores, with 3 of their last 4 staying under the total. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Sacramento Kings versus Los Angeles Clippers. The Sacramento Kings, currently holding a 33-29 record and sitting in 9th place in the Western Conference, are gearing up to take on the Los Angeles Clippers, who are 34-29 and ranked 8th in the West. The game is scheduled for March 9th at the Intuit Dome. This matchup is crucial for both teams as they jostle for playoff positioning in a tightly contested conference. When these two teams met back in November, the Clippers came out on top in both games. They secured a 107-98 victory on the road and followed it up with a 104-88 win at home. Those results will likely be on the minds of both squads as they prepare for this upcoming clash. The Kings are dealing with some key absences as Domantas Sabonis and Malik Monk remain sidelined. On the other side, the Clippers are also missing Norman Powell and Ben Simmons. Despite being in better form recently, the Kings are still considered underdogs in this matchup, largely due to Sabonis' absence. The Clippers, meanwhile, managed to edge out the Knicks in their last game, though it's worth noting that New York was without Jalen Brunson, making them a less formidable opponent. Statistically, this game looks like it could be a close one. The Kings hold the 11th best net rating in the league at 2.2, while the Clippers are just ahead in ninth with a 2.3 net rating. Rebounding could play a significant role, and there's not much separating the two teams in that department either. Sacramento ranks 6th in the NBA with a 51.2% rebounding rate, while Los Angeles is close behind in 8th with a 50.9% rate. As our first pick for this matchup, the Sacramento Kings to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Both teams have been playing at a relatively slow pace this season. The Clippers rank 21st in the league with a pace of 98.7, while the Kings are slightly faster at 16th with a pace of 99.71. Defensively, the Clippers have been stronger, ranking 3rd in the league with a 109.5 defensive rating, compared to the Kings' 15th ranked 113.8 defensive rating. Sacramento does play a bit quicker than Los Angeles, averaging 99.0 possessions per 48 minutes compared to the Clippers' 98. From beyond the arc, both teams are nearly identical, with the Clippers ranking 24th in three-point rate at .393 and the Kings just behind at .391. The Clippers will likely rely heavily on their defense to control the game. They have the tools to dominate the boards, especially with Sabonis out for the Kings. Expect Los Angeles to slow the tempo and force Sacramento into a half-court game, which could limit the Kings' offensive opportunities. As our second pick for this matchup, under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.